storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
What is up, Storm Chasers? We're back today with Mr. Johnson here. Now, this is the ex-boyfriend and one of the fathers to one of AJNA SURAH's children. AJNA SURAH is an IG motivational speaker slash alleged scammer. I don't really know exactly what this lady's title is. I've tried to figure it out for months, and I still can't really tell you exactly what she does, but she does definitely talk bad about everybody she's been with.
I cannot stop him from creating an illusion in his mind. There's nothing that I can do. There's absolutely nothing that I can do but make sure that at all times I'm ready to motherfucking bust. And I mean it. If he ever comes near me, I will not shoot to hurt him. I will not shoot to slow him down. I will not shoot to just get him out of my way. I want your motherfucking life. I want your life. And I keep 2 in close reach at all times with a minimum of 7. And you're going to get all motherfucking 7 of them.
And so you've seen her get destroyed on Young Pharaoh's channel.
This shit would have never happened if you wasn't leading niggas on.
I take full accountability. I take full accountability.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You take 5% accountability. You don't take accountability.
I never lie. I keep repeating the same truth, and you keep saying, no, you don't take accountability. What am I lying about, Keith?
You've seen several people interview her and then kind of back away from her. This is a man that we interviewed about 5 or 6 months ago, I think. In just a sec. So you meet her, you eventually move in with her, right?
Correct.
And how long into dating did you move into her home?
Oh man, I would say it was probably a couple of months in.
And he's going to give us an update, and we're just going to go from there. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate using your platform to tell my story and to try to locate this child, Daniel. There's a lot that has happened since we last spoke. We have basically filed the defamation lawsuit in Georgia against AJNA and a couple of her cohorts. And we have basically, really pushed forward to try to locate Daniel and see where he is, get the information.
Okay.
What family he may be with. We believe we have located the law firm, and we've uncovered some additional information in the process.
So you were saying since the last time we spoke, you've actually been able to file paperwork. Let's just let everybody know too that her legal name, and AJNA SURAH is who we're referring to. Her legal name is Reagan Gilmore. She does spell it a bunch of different ways.
Correct.
You and Miss Gilmore had a child, conceived a child together. Magically, she told you the child had passed away. We now know that's not true. We know that she has sold several of her other children that she's had. And so last we knew, the child's name was Daniel. And what location did you think he was in? What region?
So it was our understanding that he may have been in New York or Connecticut.
Okay.
As of right now, that is still the thought process. Like I said, we're just trying to figure out exactly where, but that's part of narrowing down what law firm and agency took part in the placement of him.
Of the illegal adoption. Okay. Yeah. And so I know from the last time we spoke, one question that a lot of people had is, what was your end goal? So let's say you find him, you find out what adoptive home he's been sent to. Hopefully he hasn't been shuffled around, but none of this was really done legally, so we don't know. Once you do find him, like what?
So the goal is just to make sure that he is aware that his father was looking for him. And that he wasn't just put up for adoption willingly on on my behalf, and
Right.
the narrative of how he was conceived is actually inaccurate.
Yes, because we and just to let them know, just to let the viewers know too, who didn't see the first interview, and I'm gonna link that interview so you guys can watch it. It was really good. AJNA SURAH, Reagan, whatever she wants to call herself, has always maintained that you allegedly raped her. Now we presented the receipts, the texts, the basically everything proving your innocence. And I think personally, I agree that I pray you do find him and you're able to talk to him and speak to him. I pray that you are able to let him know that he was not a child of rape, because I just believe that children of rape, which he is not, but children that are conceived in that manner, they kind of always have that dark cloud over them, even as adults.
Right. I mean, it's a stigma that would attach to anybody, you know,
Exactly.
that information came out about. So, you know, to place that cloud over a child's head, you know, and it's unwarranted, it's tragic, you know.
Yeah.
And you never know, you know, how somebody will respond to that type of information in the first place. So the goal is to find him and then let him know that is an inaccurate narrative, and hopefully, you know, it helps to ensure that he can move on and live his life as a productive, you know, citizen, you know, without having to worry about that being something that's on the back of his mind.
Exactly. Something held over his head. Like, and don't get me wrong, like these children, they don't ask to be, you know, they don't ask to be here. We make decisions and they come here as a result. But it's definitely a difference when you know you were loved, you were wanted, versus, you know, you were conceived in that kind of way. And so has any like major media or any major news outlets reached out to you? Has this gotten any major press so far?
So as far as that's concerned, like we haven't really had a lot of major like you know, media come to us. We have had individuals come to us wanting to do a documentary to assist with the search and everything like that. We're in the process of, you know, talking that out with a couple of individuals. The thing is, like, it's not about like making money or anything like that. It's simply about finding this child and you know, just basically getting the story out so we can find the child. So anybody that we work with, we want to make sure that, you know, their motives are pure.
Yes.
And that they understand that it's not about making money or trying to capitalize on the situation in any way.
Exactly. It's about finding the child. And, you know, I don't know why in my head I kept thinking like, wow, I wish I don't have any contacts at Lifetime. I know like one person that works at Tyler Perry Studios, but I don't like know him. I know a person that knows him. So I don't even have any strong connects in that way. But remind us again, where is AJNA SURAH currently? Does she live in Texas or is it Indiana or?
So it's my understanding that she's a resident of Indiana. That's where the legal service was provided when we filed the defamation suit.
And you know what's interesting? I don't know if you know who like Dana Chanel and Prince Donnell is. They're IG people
I've heard of them. I'm not 100% familiar, but I have sort of heard of them.
Okay. Well, the interesting thing about all this whole story is that she and Dana was cool at some point and fell out at some point. And Dana and her husband, they're being exposed as scammers. We know AJNA has scammed. I have to say allegedly, but she has. And it's just kind of like birds of a feather flock together. You know, it's a true saying. So,
to be fair, I don't know Dana Chanel. I don't know her husband. I don't know what their legal issues are, and etc. I know my situation with Miss Gilmore.
Yes, and I understand that. I ain't trying to get you in no stuff, Mr. Johnson. I'm not. We broke down that story too here on the channel, so okay. That's how I can talk about it. But I know one thing I did want to know as far as your family is concerned, which is Daniel's family as well, although his name may be different by now. How did your family react to you coming public with this and doing YouTube interviews? And how does your family feel about this?
Are you living a hectic and stressful life? Between the news and racial stress and trauma, do you find yourself feeling alone and anxious? If so, join our community, Mind, Body, Faith, and learn how to establish daily practices that aid in healing the mind, body, and spirit, like meditation, yoga, prayer, breath work, and journaling. Pause and let your spirit breathe by using our meditation prayer cards and meditation candles when you need to reconnect with God. Start on your new path by taking our meditation quiz, because it's always a good time to meditate with God.
Embrace Pangea is a Black-owned health and wellness brand that has solidified themselves as being able to take care of your yoni. But guess what? They do more than just service your yoni. Yes, as a matter of fact, Embrace Pangea has products to cover you from head to toe, inside and out. And in particular, let me tell you about a couple products that I personally use. Number one is the herbal tooth powder that is better than any toothpaste that you will get over the counter. It will get your teeth clean and help your teeth to maintain a natural white shade. And in addition to that, the advanced botanical mouthwash is something that we all should have in our medicine cabinet. Now, when you look at a bottle like this with 25 potent herbs like echinacea, golden cell, don't laugh at me if I mispronounced that, you know what I meant. We need these natural ingredients in our mouth rinses so that we can fight tooth decay, gingivitis, all of that plaque, halitosis, and overall poor oral hygiene. Okay, so if you want to get a good clearance when you go to the dentist, get you some Embrace Pangea. And in addition to that, make sure you use my code STORM to get 10% off your order at checkout today.
So my family is very supportive of the situation. They're basically doing everything that they can to assist in the search and everything like that. There's not been one person that's come to me and said no, they don't think that I should do it, because we're a pretty close-knit family, and so everybody is like, if it's one of us out there, we want to know who they are and where they're from. I'm pretty sure somebody in the family right now is probably trying to figure out if we might be related and how.
Because I'm sure, like, even like when I look at you, I'm like, we do look. I don't know. Everybody thought so, but I don't know. You never know. So what I wonder, and I know a lot of people are going to ask, let's just say best case scenario, you find him, Miss Gilmore is convicted for what she did. It's going to be a whole lot of people that come down behind this. But if that adoption has to legally be reversed because it was done illegally, and let's say he's sent home with you, are you prepared to take him in, you and your wife?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We're more than prepared to take him in if that could be the case. Like I said in the first interview, the first time we talked, the goal is not to uproot him from that family, because that family is all that he's known for, almost 6 years now.
Yeah.
So, like that in and of itself would be a traumatic experience if it were to happen. Now, hopefully they didn't partake in any of the malfeasance that that happened, behind the adoption. A lot of adopted families fall victim or prey to these types of situations
Sure.
unknowingly. And if that's the case, we sympathize with that. If it's not, and they do take part of it, then we just have to see what the courts have to say about it.
Okay. And you know what? You're right. Maybe they didn't know what was going on, because it's so many people out here that can't have kids and they want families, and they can be approached by a pregnant lady and she's like, look, soon as I have it, it's yours. Make it really easy and simple, and it's easy to fall prey to that. Absolutely.
Right.
And so, to our belief, she was paid for this adoption.
That's correct. To our belief, we do believe she received compensation for the adoption.
Yeah. And I'll say this as well, especially for the people that want to go back and watch Young Pharaoh's channel. It was just mighty interesting how after this alleged child was adopted off, now you have new boobs and you have a new car, and it's just like, oh, okay, like, all right. Now, when you were with her, did she work? Like, what did she do for a living?
Well, to my understanding, she was a student.
Oh, okay. Did she ever say what she was in school for?
No.
Okay.
But, right. Like I said, it's my understanding she was not working. She was just a student at one of the local community colleges.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and so now at this point, you've never given up this fight to find your son, and I respect that, because there are a whole lot of men that just would have been like, all right, well, I ain't got to deal with it, and they just would have went on about their lives and never gave it a second thought. And so, what kept you motivated to, and what is keeping you motivated to keep the fight on to find Daniel?
Well, I mean, there's several things. One, that the false narrative and the defamation, slander, and everything is still persisting almost on a daily basis. There's also the fact that we don't want him to grow up and have that stigma about him. So the only way that we could address that, both situations, is to locate him.
Yes.
And in doing so, we get to clear up all the misnomers and false information that's been put out.
Yeah, and I respect that, because there's so many. Like, look, and this is not us bashing women over here. This is not us bashing anybody who has been victimized. But I hate when women lie on men, because the women that actually get victimized, then nobody believes them. It makes it harder for the person that actually happens to. And so,
yes, and I mean, that's another thing that, like, we're looking at. I've been talking to some individuals in reference to how we can address even that moving forward from a legal standpoint, because while we want women to come forward and to allow due process and everything like that to happen in these types of situations or whatever, we don't want women to be able to come forth and push lies and different things like that. We have so many men or different cases that men have been falsely convicted for these types of things, and at the end of the day, there's no repercussion that they have. A lot of the times, even a civil suit is unlikely because of the status or nature of the situation. And there's also statutory timelines that have to be followed, as far as like filing a civil suit when somebody has defamed your character. So,
Right.
like you have to be within those windows to even be able to file a civil suit. But we do believe that in the event that a young lady was to come forward with a false narrative, as such, that there should be some kind of criminal consequence, for that. And it sounds harsh. It sounds almost heartless or whatever. That we would say that somebody that makes these type of accusations should face consequences. But if it's a false accusation, then I believe that's fair. I believe that in my heart, that individual should do the amount of time that the man would have faced if he would have been convicted. You tie up resources, you tie up all kinds of different things associated with these types of cases, and when it pans out and it's a false accusation, then not only is the reputation of that gentleman affected, not only is his family affected, like you've impacted tax dollars, you've impacted the timelines of the courts and everything like that, when they could be actually addressing true and valid cases.
And if I remember correctly from when I used to do those types of proceedings, if she went through the court to do the adoption, then she technically perjured herself, because they make you say like all your statements you're giving us is true and you're not lying. So she's technically perjured herself as well. Now, as far as your own personal life, did her accusations affect like your job or how people looked at you, where you're from? I was always interested in that as well.
I've had some people that I've been associated with that have kind of like fell off, but at the end of the day, I didn't really know those individuals.
Okay.
Most of the people that know me know my character, and have been around me for quite some time, and they're all still very much present. The biggest thing is, in my field of work, these types of things kind of would restrict what I can do and can go. And that's another reason why we have filed the defamation suit, because it hasn't halted business, but it has slowed some business.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the accusation or whatever. So like most clients would probably be more apt to go with the services once we get a actual court judgment that says, hey, this was a false accusation, there was a lawsuit filed, and Mr. Johnson was the victim. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And the sad thing, even after you do all that, just as a man, once you have that accusation on you, it never really fully goes away.
That's very much true.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why it's important to get the case pressed forward, because it's one thing to say, oh well, this accusation was made about me, but I've sued that individual and I came out on top in that case, versus not having tried to address the situation and the accusations to be present. Like this, that's two different conversations.
True. That's very true. And so looking back now after you and Miss Gilmore's pretty much like a whirlwind romance, because things did move pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So After that, dealing with the situation with her, fighting for your son. Now, what have you learned so far? If you had to say three of the biggest lessons you've learned so far, what would that be?
So I'd say one, documentation is very important, regardless of the situation and scenario.
Yes.
If you can document what's going on in any kind of way, then that's probably the best way to combat anything that might, happen. I'd say probably the other lesson is, no matter the magnitude of a challenge, if you put your head down and press forward, it can be overcome. And it might seem like a David and Goliath type situation, but you can win, if you have it in your heart, and mind to do so.
Yes, I agree. You can do anything you put your mind to, and it's really just finding that drive and that motivation to keep moving forward. I know you said you are married, right?
Correct.
So you having that support system, I'm assuming, has also helped you continue to push forward.
Very much so. Very much so.
Nice.
My wife is very, very supportive of me and supportive of the search. And I told her no matter what, it wouldn't be a situation where he would be knocking on the door at 18 saying, "You're my dad," and why didn't you come looking for me?
Yep. So. And I've known a couple people that have done that. I've known some people where it's like they don't even know who their father is at all. They have no clue, no place where to start. And the kids that are like that, it's kind of like they never fully learn who they are if they don't know where they come from. But that is a real thing. So yeah. So at this point, you've made some headway legally, which is great. Tell us, I guess, to close it out, any message you would either want to just give to the audience, to Daniel, Ms. Gilmore, anything. I guess just close it out with your final thoughts.
So, like, what I would say is, we're putting out information consistently. One of the last things that we have found was the law firm that was associated with the adoption. And we believe it's associated with the adoption. We also found out that there was a third child that was attempted to be placed for adoption that was actually stopped.
Okay.
We are in the process of trying to figure out where that child is. And, if it's a case where we need to reconnect that child with their father, like we did with her daughter and her biological father, then we wouldn't mind doing that as well.
Okay.
But we do know that had come forward, and the attorney on the case is someone who has been disciplined at least once in the state of Indiana for unethical behavior.
Okay.
So we don't feel it's far-fetched that this particular attorney and law firm may have participated knowingly in unethical behavior.
Wow. Well, so now, okay, so you said a third, she tried to adopt a third. Man. So she has 3 in her custody now, or 4?
She has 2 in her custody now.
2 in her custody. She's given away 2 that we know of.
Correct.
And then we think there's another. We know another she tried to.
So we believe that there's another that she tried. They may or may not be one of the 2 in the household.
Wow. 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 That's all I can say. Wow. What can you say? Okay. Well, I will say, let the people know where they can find you, your social media info. I will, of course, include it in like the description box of this video, but let the people know where they can find you if they have any more questions or just want to send support or anything.
Yeah, so if people want to support or have questions, the IG page is Where Is My Son 2014. So that's Where Is My Son 2014 on IG. You know, like I said, we would appreciate any support. And leads. This is a picture of Daniel.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the New York or Connecticut area and this child looks familiar to you, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, and just to put this out there, we're not asking anybody to make contact with his adoptive parents if they so happen to see him, you know, or anything like that. We're simply asking for leads so that our investigators can go into that area and basically vet those situations to see if, you know, this may or may not be the child. We're doing on the ground, virtual, and court research to try to locate him.
Good. That's what I love to hear.
Ladies, treat Gianni. All natural herbs for a fresher, tighter, cleaner, healthier Yanni. This is the Yanni bowl. Here are the herbs. These are natural herbs.
You know, a little steamy down there, but you know, it's perks to it. Keep everything right and tight.
I'm going to Yanni Steam. If you haven't heard about it, definitely got to research it. It has wonderful, wonderful benefits.
So ladies, try her out.
It's Storm Show. Ay, it's Storm Show.